I still remember the night I left. It wasn't planned. It wasn't a dramatic fight or a storm of broken dishes. It was just quiet. Too quiet for what had just happened. The pregnancy test lay on the bathroom counter. Two pink lines staring at me like they knew my whole future before I did. My hands shook so hard I could barely hold it. My husband, Ethan, was in the living room. On a late-night business call, I could hear his deep voice, smooth and confident. The voice that had built his real estate empire from nothing. But I also remembered the words he said to me just the night before. "You're too young to be tied down with kids right now, Claire. You wouldn't understand. But timing is everything in my career." And I knew. He wasn't ready for this. Not for me. Not for a baby. So I did what I thought was best. I left him a letter, no explanations. Just, "I need time. Don't look for me." And I disappeared. 2 years later, I was back in New York. Not because I wanted to see him God. No, but because our son, Noah, was starting to ask questions. Questions I couldn't answer without facing the past. I had imagined this moment. 1,000 times him seeing me with our child. His eyes softening, maybe even apologizing. But nothing, not even my wildest imagination, prepared me for the scene I walked into that Thursday afternoon. I had heard he still lived in the penthouse on 5th Avenue. I took a deep breath in the lobby, trying to keep my hands from trembling. Noah was holding my hand, swinging it back and forth like a little rhythm to keep himself calm. The elevator ride felt endless. When the doors opened, I stepped out into the familiar marble hallway and walked toward the door I used to call home. My heart was pounding so hard it hurt. I reached out to knock, but the door opened before I could touch it. And there he was, Ethan Carter. Except he wasn't alone. A tall brunette in a red silk dress was leaning against his arm, laughing at something he said. Her perfume drifted toward me before her eyes. Did eyes that narrowed when she saw me standing there? Ethan froze, the color drained from his face like someone had just pulled the world out from under him. "Claire," his voice was barely above a whisper. What are you doing here?" I didn't answer right away. My eyes were locked on his, but I could feel Noah pressing against my leg, shy and unsure. The woman beside him, I recognized her now. Madison Hart, his ex. The one he had sworn was just a friend back when we first met. My throat tightened. "I think you should be the one explaining, Ethan." The silence that followed could have cut glass. Noah peeked up at him. "Mommy, is this my daddy?" Ethan's head snapped toward him, and I swear I saw his knees buckle just slightly. His mouth opened, closed, opened again. Madison's hand slipped from his arm. "You never told me you had a kid." He didn't answer her. His eyes were on Noah, searching, studying like he was piecing together a puzzle he didn't even know existed. Finally, his voice broke. Is he mine?" I swallowed hard. "Yes." Madison's expression went from annoyed to furious in seconds. "You have a child with her and you never said a word to me." Ethan turned sharply. "Madison, I think you should go." She stared at him, then at me, then at Noah, and with a sharp toss of her hair, she stormed past us toward the elevator. The door clicked shut behind her, leaving just the three of us. Ethan stepped forward slowly, like he was afraid. "I'd run again. Claire, why didn't you tell me?" I laughed, not the happy kind, but the kind that comes from 2 years of holding in pain. "You made it very clear back then that a child would ruin your life. I wasn't going to beg you to accept something you didn't want." His jaw tightened. "You decided for me?" "I decided for our son," I shot back. "I gave him stability. I gave him love. I gave him everything I could without dragging him into a world where he might be unwanted." His eyes flickered with something. I couldn't read guilt, anger, regret, maybe all of it. We stood there in the hallway for what felt like forever. Finally, Noah broke the silence. Mommy, I'm thirsty. Ethan's eyes softened. I have apple juice inside. Would you like some? Noah looked at me for permission. I nodded. Inside, everything looked the same: the sleek leather couch, the floor-to-ceiling windows, the grand piano. I used to play on rainy afternoons, but it felt different, colder. Ethan poured the juice, but his hands were shaking. Claire, these past 2 years, I've thought about you every day. I thought you left because you didn't love me anymore. I left because I did, I whispered. Because I loved you enough not to trap you in something you didn't want. Ethan glanced at him, then back at me. He deserves to know his father, and I deserve to know my son. I folded my arms. And Madison? He shook his head immediately. She doesn't matter. She never did. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to. But the image of them at the door burned in my mind. When it was time to leave, Ethan walked us to the elevator. Claire, he said, just before the doors closed, I don't know how to make up for the time we've lost, but I want to try. I met his eyes, searching for the man I once knew. We'll see, Ethan. One step at a time. The doors slid shut, and as the elevator descended, I realized something: this wasn't the end of our story.